All right, welcome everyone. It's Friday here. This is Miles. I'm not on screen. we got a full group here. We got Richard, Jonathan, and as you see on screen, we got Nick.
Nick Hunter, are you there? Are you ready to go, Nick Hunter?
I'm here.
We brought Nick Hunter back. I am trying to reconstitute my Santa Clara office, which got cannibalized for pieces. Well, welcome to the live stream for FileMaker FMTrain.tv. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of FMTrain.tv. So it's Friday, and things are already coming apart at the seams. I want to welcome all the people there. We are broadcasting live on Discord, on Twitch, on YouTube. I want to thank everyone. Oh, there it is. All right. So the page, the DNS wasn't resolving for whatever reason. So, so this broadcast at 1 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday, we do a live stream training on the FileMaker platform. The FileMaker platform is awesome. It does amazingly great things. It helps businesses. It is super in terms of improving efficiency and making sure that your team is working collaboratively and not running into each other. And so what I want to do is point out that if I go to FMTrain.tv, I press the live button, we can see the upcoming broadcast schedule. So today is our live button. Today is Friday. We get the Dead Bird Friday. So real quick, I'm going to pivot this channel if you want to help make sure that you support the channel. But if you like to come in and ask questions and have a team that's dedicated to doing this, we highly recommend they go to FMTrain.tv, and the button that you want to press is the bundles button. Right? So if you go to FMTrain.tv, you press the bundle button, and you can see that you can scroll down. And these are the two bundles that help, frankly, pay the bills so we keep the lights on here for you. So if you have it's our complete FileMaker training, which is all the highly polished on-demand training. The amount of video hours in there, it's actually way over that. It's a ton of video training that's in there. So the complete bundle comes with your own copy of FileMaker Pro, Advanced. Well, you say advanced, it's really advanced, but it's FileMaker Pro 19 Mac or Windows, and it's a 1-year subscription. If you don't need FileMaker, then get the video-only training bundle. And if you're interested in getting it for 2 years, we have for an extra $50, you can get it for 2 years. So $299 is the 1-year price, but if you want it for 2 years, it's $349, and it gets you into it for 2-year subscription. It's a much better deal. If any of you are interested in that, make sure you post that a question, and we'll give you the link to it during the broadcast. So moving along, so I want to pivot to Jonathan Ray. Jonathan created a sample file. Nick, if you want to quit sharing your screen briefly, and then we're going to have Jay share his screen. What we want to do is take a look at, Jay has a sample file that I posted already. So Jonathan, are you there? And do you want to show your screen? There we go.
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
So tell us what this is and what it does and why do we care? And then we're going to make sure everyone gets the links to this. TK, if you could post the links to both the files to Twitch, and I will take care of YouTube, that would be great. So Jonathan, take it away.
All right, great. So let me start by showing you something over here first. This is this widget studio thing that a different engineer came up with, and this is a text comparison. And so you put two pieces of text together, and you want to compare what's the differences between the two. And that's neat for seeing that visual, but all I wanted to do is get a % similar. So instead of seeing something visual like this, where here's two strings, and I wanted to, and seeing the additions and subtractions between them, all I wanted to do was just get a percentage different or percentage similar type of deal. And so that's what I came up with here. Let me zoom out because there's a popover, and this explains what's going on. So here's text number 1, text number 2, and we're comparing both of them. Okay, and if I hit this little button here, I started off with a web viewer. If I go into layout mode, you're seeing a web viewer here, and there was a piece of JavaScript that I took somewhere online, and it calculated the similarity between two small strings of text, which is great. And then I hit up our engineer Steve Allen here at RCC, and he built the same type of thing that you're seeing here with the JavaScript in FileMaker. And so this is now a native custom function. We come here to File, Manage, Custom Functions. There it is. And it's called Get Levenstein because it's named after the guy who came up with this brilliant formula here, Levenstein. And you can look it up on Wikipedia. But it is basically, the idea is it measures the difference between two sequences or strings. So it's the difference between two words. The Levenstein difference between two words is the minimum number of single character edits, insertion, deletion, substitutions required to change one word into another. In other words, it's calculating the number of times or the number of substitutions required to get from text 1 to text 2, and then it gives you that in a percentage. So it's a real quick way of seeing how close these two texts are. For instance, here's a real world scenario so you understand what I'm talking about. If you've ever had to ship something, say through Amazon or eBay or something, and or receive something, and you got this dialogue that said, we have a different address on file for you. The one you entered is this. The one we have on file is this. Can you confirm that this is the same address? And what they did there is they did a similarity between the address you typed in and the address they had on file, and they wanted you to confirm that. So this is helpful in spotting duplicates in records. You could use that, I think, where you have one record that might be spelled one way, like 123 anywhere street with ST period, versus 123 anywhere street all spelled out. Well, you and I know that these are the same thing. It's referring to the same address, but the text strings are different. And so you could do a find, for instance, on something above 50 or 60 to try to identify duplicates that way. So that's what we have going on, and you can tear apart the sample file to learn a little bit more.
Right there. So there's two samples for today. One is Jonathan's percentage difference, which is really useful, I think. Useful in kind of alerting you when things start really drifting, differences. I could see that being very useful. And then Nick did a video and a sample file for me a while back, and we got so busy chasing after sports cars and other stupid things that we totally forgot about it. So it's one of those things we generate so much content that we lost some of it. All right, Nick, are you ready?
Yep, I'm there. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to share my screen right quick here. So some time ago, I've done a kind of a video about this new function that we have in FileMaker that called while. So just want to recall what the while is doing. It's a function that replaced the hack that was before, the tail recursive kind of custom function, So we had a way before to do something that wasn't supposed to be done with FileMaker. It was kind of a bug that, or an issue that FileMaker had left open for people to still use it, but it has a problem with the memory leaks and stuff like that. Remember, Richard, we have a discussion with Clay McKeel about that.
Yeah.
At the DEF CON, I don't know if 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't remember. And and they came with a new function that called while. So what the while function is doing, I have two great examples here. But and so let's say I have a start date. Let's take today, and I want to calculate 10 days after the start date, okay, or 15 days, after the start date. If I change the start date, it changes all the calculation all the way. Okay. And I have another one that we can do between two dates, between today and November 3rd. So you can have a kind of it calculates automatically the how many days are the dates between two dates. So and how you do that? So you use kind of a function that it's called while, And I already explained what the while is doing, but I'm going to repeat what it's doing. So the while is, you need to define, first of all, you need to define all the variable. Okay, you need to define all what matters in the calculation. All what will be used later in the calculation needs to be declared here, even though it is equal nothing. If you need date, if you need max count, if you need the counter, if you need the result, you need to declare that in those variables. When you type the while function, it tells you what you need. You need what they call initial variable, then you have the condition, then you have the logic, and then you have the results. In the FileMaker world, when you have brackets like this, that means you can have multiple variable, you can have multiple initial variable. You can only have one condition because there's no brackets. You can have multiple logic, and of course, you can have only one result. So when you have brackets in the FileMaker world, that means you can have multiple, like I'm doing here. Between brackets, that means I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you separate with a semicolon. Here we have the condition, that's the initial variable. The conditions, that means as soon as of the counter is, until the counter is inferior to max count, do it. That's the condition. You do it while this is valid. When this is no longer valid, stop it. Okay. And this is a load. So that is so initial variable. We did that. We put that what we want. We want the date, the max count, and those we want to reset those to 0. Then we have the condition is while this is valid, do it. Then we have the logic. Say, okay, here the counter. The counter is whatever in the counter already plus 1. And the result is whatever the result is plus the date plus the counter, etc. So I'm not going to explain what this is right now, because we had another video for that. So maybe I can come over another day doing a full session on the while function and explain all about this. But what I want to display here, what I want to show you, is how this is powerful. Okay, that's the most interesting thing. And if we have more time at the end, Richard, if you want me to stop to put more time, I can explain. But I want to show you what that does. So here, you remember what I told you, Richard, before. I came here because I was working on our new calendar. We have a calendar kit that is a JavaScript kind of calendar, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of cool, and I wanted to replicate something like this. So let me go further here. I wanted to replicate something like this. Let me show you. Okay, so I wanted to replicate something like this. You have a thing like this, and you have the repeats, the custom repeats, and you want every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, but you don't want, for example, you want every day, but you don't want a Wednesday, okay? And you say you want weekly, and you want for 10 weeks, right? So I want to replicate something like that. I said I want for weekly, and I want this to be Sunday morning, but not the Wednesday, right? Something like that. So I wanted to replicate something like this. The first question I ask is how I can ignore the weekends. So in the past, I came with a very cumbersome, very stupid, and very complicated. Not stupid, but very complicated. Not this one. Project. Okay. So a very complicated thing. Wasn't pretty. Let me show you. I came with something like to calculate to ignore their what's the name? The weekend. So this is what I was doing. Something very complicated with the day of weeks, period of, it was kind of a very, very hard to understand. I made that during the time I was at FileMaker. It took me a month of my time to come with this. to get something working. Okay, it works very well, and it is inside all the starter solution, by the way. Okay, it was to count how many days left between 2 days by ignoring the weekends. Okay, Saturday and Sunday. The problem with this, it was very hard to understand and very slow in some case. So now I wanted to use the new while function to do that. And as you can see here, I have a succession of days here, and you can see I don't have Saturday and Sunday. I don't have them. Okay, so I ignore them completely. Even if I do more, if I put more days, you can see here I don't have Saturdays and I don't have Sundays, because using the while function, I can get the while function to give me and I'm ignoring the day of week 1 and the day of week 7. Why? Because in FileMaker, the day of week 1, so if I said get current date, today is day of week 6. Why? Is because we start from Sunday. We don't start from Monday. FileMaker starts counting the day of week from Sunday. So Sunday 1, Monday 2, and etc. And Saturday, it's the 7 days of the week. That's why in my while function here, to ignore the weekend, I said I don't want neither Saturday, neither the Sunday. Neither the Sunday, neither the Saturday. That's Sunday, that's Saturday. I don't want. So you see what I mean? So I ignore those. I said I don't want them. So if the day of week is not 1 and the day of week is not 7, okay, do it. Otherwise, don't do it. Yeah, somebody on Discord said this is confusing, but that's how computer does. It's not a FileMaker thing. If you go to the JavaScript world or whatever, the Xcode world, you have the same problem. It doesn't start with the day of week is not Monday, it's Sunday, which is it's a nonsense, but that is. So now you know how I'm ignoring this. That means I'm doing exactly the same while kind of calculation here, but I just say, okay, I don't want okay the day of week 1 and the day of week 7. So now if I want to calculate how many work days there is between between those two dates, between those two dates here, if I want to know that, I just have to say value count, right, on the while no weekend. That's 51 work day. So here I have 51. Actually, I can do it here. I can create a field, days elapsed, for example, right, and come here is a number, and come here and say I want the value count of the no weekend, okay, and I have a new field here ready to go, and here we go. Put the field here, and this is the day elapsed, okay, and I said I want the label, okay, so day elapsed. And here, so it says 51 day. Now, if I say less, let's say I say October here, that's 11 days. Because I'm counting how many, actually it's not 11 days, 10 days, because I need to remove one, hold on. It's this minus 1. Always in FileMaker, you need to do that. You see, I'm doing this here. Always, if you want to count the day, the actual day, you need to do that. So so that is 10 days between those two and those two, and it's true because it would have been 5 days here and 5 days here, 10 days, because it's ignoring the weekend completely, right? So so now you have the number of days between two dates without having difficulties like I show you on the project management, on the project status solution, which was a crazy kind of calculation. Now I wanted to go further, and I said, okay, I want the same thing. I want to ignore some days, but now I want to replicate. You remember what I show you on the Apple calendar? I want to replicate the same kind of thing. I don't want the Wednesdays. I don't want the Thursday. I don't want the Fridays, right? So I can now ignore the day I want between two dates. So let's say between now and the end of the year, there's 54 days. There's 54 days, working days here, right? There's 54 working days, not weekends. And here, I can ignore, see, I have all the days. I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. So you see, I have all the week. I say I don't want the Wednesday, and I don't want the Mondays. So now I have Sunday. See, Sunday jumped to Tuesday and it's jumped to Thursday because I said I don't want Wednesday, I don't want Mondays. And say, let's say I don't want Saturday and week. I want only those 3 days. Okay. So now the beauty of this, you can duplicate this and you can say day elapsed days. Okay. And you can share days elapsed walking. Okay. You can days. So you change this and you say, okay, now this is a value count of this results, the days of week. Okay. So now, here you have 54 days to go since, with no working days. And you have here, you have label. Okay. Here you have 32 days if you don't count the Thursday, if you don't count the Mondays, the Wednesdays, the Saturday, and the Sunday. Now, if you add Sunday, you have more days. If you add Saturday, see, so as always, the lean design concept is I'm getting advantage of the best of what I can do. Like, obviously, the while function is the best way to calculate those days, okay? To ignore, like, I'm doing exactly the same thing I'm doing for the weekend, but I extended it to, the day 1, the day 2, the day 3, the day 4, the day 5, So I said, if this all is, if I check this, if this is checked, the day of week, the repeating days of week, because this is it's a multiple choice, right? If there's a pattern count on this, do it. Otherwise, don't do it. So it's easy to do that. Now, thanks to the while function, you have this calculated, and now you just have to merely count how many values those field returns, and then you have the counter, right? So you get everything for free pretty much because of this technique.
Moki, very nice. I wrote something similar, but not as elegant. Yeah, it's always how that works, right? We've always written things like this, but there's easier ways of writing them, and Nick has definitely done a great job of writing some very nice one right now. So that's very nice.
Yeah, because now that you put, for example, because somebody said one day, yeah, what I'm doing, what can I do now with this, right? With this, so you can write a script, for example, okay, that says, create records, and you can just say, okay, set variable, and you said range, range. And you can, I don't want to do that because there's no dates here, but you can just select this list and then create records based on this list, and then you have the list of records based on this list, right? So it's kind of a virtualist kind of concept here, but it's very cool. Yeah, I had those written many years ago with custom function. Proof it, I even have the custom function on the project management from Starter Solution. But as you said, yeah. Elegant and fast, because this is super fast. I mean, I'm using a native out of the box FileMaker function, not a hack. It's 100% a function here, and I'm using another native out-of-the-box function here. So, and you understand that it's that is very fast, you know, very fast. Even if you say you go multiple years ahead, it's instant, right? So you have a bunch of records, right? So it's 400 days. See, it's very cool.
Net Lobster says, can you put it? Can you have it so you put in a list of holidays for it to ignore? Question mark. Nick.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
The question there, Chiefy.
Yeah. Okay.
Question from Net Lobster: Can you have it so you can put a list of holidays for it to ignore?
Oh, of course. Of course, that the extension. If you can get like an Excel file, and you have a set of records somewhere in a table, and you say okay, and you reference those, you get a list of dates that you want to ignore, and you said okay, I want none of those dates. If you say the while function, actually I can write it one day. If you say okay, if the while function here, you say if there's a pattern count of the dates, okay, of the date that, you know, this date, you know, the date plus one, you know, this as a moment when while is calculating this, you say pattern count that date into the list of a variable or whatever you have, or a list of a Cartesian link to a table, and you say I don't want none of this. Yeah, it will automatically ignore it, and actually it's very easy to do. If you get this file, you can figure out very quickly.
All right. So Foxy Jack has a question. I wrote back a question on that. Moki says, how do you compare two value lists and just return unique values not on the other list? Have you done that before?
Yes. Actually,
yeah, you could totally do. That's, I don't know if that's on the certification test or not. That was a more clever one. One of my engineers, I've actually written that. I don't know if it's the starting point or not, but yeah, you can use the list functions to generate with the unique. There's a unique, right? Isn't that a new thing in FileMaker, the unique?
Yeah, that's a unique value. Yeah, you have the unique value, but it's the unique value in that case is not really what you want. Yeah, because the unique value here, what the unique value does, let me, since we have some time here, we can go there.
If you punch out a comparative list, and then you could run that too.
So that's one way to do that is with a difference. Let me show you this. Let's say you have a Nick, okay, and you have Nick again, okay. You have 2 times Nick, and you have Rick. Oh, okay, Rick, and again you have Rick. So you have 2 times. Hold on, I need to do this list and this. Okay, so you have 2 times Nick and 2 times Rick. Yeah. Right. Okay, and then he give you only 1 time Nick, 1 time Rick. That unique value does. Okay. So now to compare a value list that is there or not, the way to do is to use a relationship, a negative relationship, difference of. So that means when they ask me to do that, most of the time I'm using kind of IDs to make sure that I have you know, or you can use 2 globals, you know, and you say, okay, give me the values that are not, right? So if you want, I can write it right quick. I can do something like this. Or let's say I have let me build two global, you know, or the value list 1, okay, and the value list 2. Those are.
Yeah, once you get them into a value list, then you could do that, right? I think that's the idea. So I missed the part this wasn't a value list. It kind of looked like a value list.
Yeah. So we that's a global. So you duplicate this. Why cannot? What happened? Oh, I changed the date. Hold on. and duplicate this. This is the value list 2. So, and you want to, you create a kind of a new kind of a relationship between those two, and you say, okay, you want the same here, and you want to do from the values 1 to the values 2, and you say, give me what is not equal. Then you have a value list that is telling you to say, okay, compare, and I hope it works though. I'm coming from the 2. I want the value list from 2, everything that is from related to while. Oh yeah, the global. Okay. Yeah, we cannot use global. Hold on. It's okay. I need to use global in one side, not this one. Not this one. Okay, hold on. Yeah, actually, it doesn't make any sense anyway to have globals here. So I have one global on that side, not on the other one. Nothing got broken here. Yeah, value. Okay. So now I have my value list here. It says so everything in value list 2 with the while function 2. Okay, so now we're good. So let's try it. Okay, so let's say I have a whatever in value list 2, right? And so I need this to make the comparison. Okay, so let's say I have in comparison I have Nick, Rick, and Ray, okay, or JRay. Okay, so I have this. Now I have Nick, and I have another record. Let's say Rick. So now I want a value list to work here to give me what is not there. I hope it works, but because I did it recently, so I did like this. So normally it should give you nothing. Yeah, I don't know. It should have worked, by the way. What's this deep? Oh no, hold on. I have this. Makes sense. And here I have. Hold on. I know what the problem is. Don't make this drop down.
Yeah, you're fine, Nick. Keep going. You're doing great. It's just nothing doing like a live demo to solve a problem for someone.
So, for example, here I have Nick and Rick as a comparison, and it gives me Ray here. Now, let's say I don't have Nick and Rick as a comparison. It gives me Ray and Nick. That means, let me explain. I have 3 records here. I have Nick, Rick, and JRay on this record. Okay, so I have 3 records: Nick, Rick, and JRay. I have a value list that says give me whatever the list of whatever inside this field. Now I have a global as a comparison. I say, okay, give me whatever is not JRay. Okay, it's Nick and Rick. Give me whatever is not Nick. Okay, it's Rick and JRay. So it works. So you use, actually, it's kind of a tricky. Understand that why this is a question and on the thing. So you use the whatever you say. It's a good lean design kind of concept as well, because you need to combine you need to learn how value list is actually functioning, and now you need to do a subtractive kind of what's the name, relationship, right? You don't say whatever is equal, you say whatever is not equal. So whatever is not equal to Nick in that, it's JRay and Rick. So you use a relationship in order to get the value list to return. You understand?
Yeah, good question. Does that make sense to Mookie TM? So Mookie says, cool.
Actually,
yeah.
I use it. You know why I use it the most? Let's say you have a portal. Okay, so let's say you have a portal, and you are adding whatever portal, okay? And let's say you are adding people. So you are adding the driver. You have a list of roles of people. You have the driver, the conductor, you have the architect, you have the, and each time you have a value list when you create a record, but you want the value list to say, okay, oh, you already put the driver here. You cannot have two drivers. So you don't want the value list to keep showing you the driver if you already built or if you already did it. Exactly the same thing, this technique here. So each time I am feeding the portal here, I have feeding this global with this. I'm feeding the global with this, an auto entry calculation that says whatever the list, okay, of the data, whatever this. So I said, okay, give me the list. I want this to be in sync all the time, okay? So then I can do the comparison, and I say, okay, if driver is already in the list, don't show me in the value. You know what I mean? So maybe one day we can do a kind of a demo on this, so you can buzz. We can do, yeah. That's a good exercise, by the way. I'm doing that often, and the best way I've found it. Maybe that's another way. I know there's ways with custom functions and blah blah blah. This is not lean design. I don't care. The lean design is always the same thing. Is you get the best pieces, the best brick, and the two pieces of the puzzle, and you assemble them. It's not like you want to put a square or object into a circle. Okay.
Have you played with the new add-ons at all, Nick?
Yeah. So I'm not out of business, so is that good? I tried the prime of the new kind of a gallery that they have is great, but when you start having like I tried with something like 10,000 file, 10,000 pictures, I have to force quit FileMaker. And actually, I had to force quit the computer because it was running out of RAM.
All right. Well, there's nothing like having a customer.
No, because yes, because the problem is, so this is the gallery. The gallery, okay, yeah, they do this. They show the thing very nicely and stuff like that. But when you click on one picture, they open the picture. Okay, that's what they do. Now here you can select, and with Shift you can make a selection. And you can unselect things. So pretty much you have the same behavior as any other photo management. You can make a selection by clicking pictures. You see, I have 11 selected, and then I can say, oh, by the way, delete them or save them as something else. Okay, so you can save as and change the format, for example. Okay,
well,
so
we should probably do a comparison video, Nick, and talk about it. I mean,
yeah, we can do it. So,
I mean, you kind of get what you pay for in life, and mostly. And so, if it's free, then what does that mean?
Look, it can be useful for just display, but not as a management like FM Gallery is. After that, I just wanted to mention something because I mentioned that I crashed the computer, and I want to explain you why, and that is important because I start listening and hearing people and reading things. Now everybody wants to put Java stuff everywhere. Okay, so you have to remember that it's not that easy. It's not that simple. So let's say I want to show you an example here, right quick. And that's something I want to tell you guys since sometimes. So let's say I have a web viewer with he wants HTTP, I guess. Yeah, he wants HTTP. HTTP // Okay. So I have this. So I'm displaying apple.com. Okay. So and then I said I want fmtraining.com, for example. I want two. Okay. So FM training.tv, okay? FM training.tv. Oops. FM training. Okay. So I have two here, right? I have two web viewers. So now I want you to see something, what happens to your memory when you do this. So you have FM. So here what you have. So those, actually it's FileMaker. So here what you have all those FileMaker kind of FM training. You see, you have this one is FileMaker.
Those are threads.
So that's the problem. The problem is you overcharge the memory each time you put I have a great example here. Hold on. Let's say because it's more, you can see it better when you have duplicates like this. Okay. So let's say now I have 4, okay, web viewers. So now here what happened. So you have FM Pro, the networking. You have those, so you have the memory, and that's the problem. You have Apple, right? So each time you launch something like that, you have 82 memory by 2, right? That is what the memory is taking. And then FileMaker, you have all those here, and you have those FileMaker Pro threading here, and so you launch multiple times the same application, right? So it's very dangerous to do that. I mean, you can drain to the what's the name? All of those things are FileMaker Pro kind of networking things. This is this, right? So you overload your memory, you overload, and the problem of JavaScript, as you mentioned, Rick, before, it's run as a runtime. That's a runtime. So FileMaker cannot handle and control the memory used with JavaScript. So that means, that's why I said I tried to display 10,000 pictures and I crashed the computer because it hung completely. I mean the freezing completely. So so JavaScript's great, but be careful. And also you can do very bad stuff to your security. You have to make sure that what you're doing here, you cannot just copy paste a code from the net, paste somewhere, and then after that, you have a networking like this. You have something happening like this, and all your bank account, all your keychain, all your contact, etc. Is the JavaScript can just go, because the problem of the security, what you do, and after that I'm done with this, you have permitted FileMaker to access your hard drive. You need to make sure. Actually, that could be a good topic as well, Rick, if you want one day. When you go to your security, where's security? When you go to your security here, you know that now you have a bunch of, let's say you want the full disk access, and then you can see FileMaker there. So now that you granted the full access you disk full access to FileMaker, that means everything that is out of FileMaker has full access as well, and JavaScript included. So you have the microphone access, right? I don't know if FileMaker is there. No, it's not. But you need to make sure what you do here.
Interesting.
You need to make sure, because I was reading an article last time. I said, okay, hey, before JavaScript in FileMaker was kind of exotic. Now it becomes the normal. So now you have to embrace the security level of JavaScript behind the scene. Otherwise, you are putting in jeopardy, because I can write a JavaScript that wiped out your hard drive in 10 minutes. I can write it. It's a 2-line code,
Well, gee, Nick, let's not scare everyone.
I'm not scaring. I just want to make sure that everybody understands about the JavaScript, that you need to make sure. So pretty much you need to know, you need to ensure the source of your code. It's like sometimes it happened, because it happened to me. I can be witness here. One day I want to try something, and I typed something on the terminal. I wasn't knowing what I was doing, right? here, and I copy paste kind of a code, a line here, okay? And then my computer was froze completely. Unfortunately, I couldn't access my account anymore. It was stoned completely. I couldn't have access to this. I needed to activate the super admin, you know, the admin back in, you know, I needed to activate that account, the super account, you know, to have access to this. So you need to make sure that what you're doing here. I'm not scaring people. I say, okay, look, be careful with the memory and be careful with the security level.
Anyway, well, everyone, we really appreciate the support. Nick appreciates support. Nick's got his new broadcast studio. We do appreciate him. And then we will continue to add things to schedule. If you have topics you think we've forgotten about, you want to see us add, we are going to go back and go through the add-on modules, such as they are. Of course, you understand that everyone will say, well, I want to customize this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, maybe not. So we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, everyone? But yeah, customizing JavaScript's a whole new skill set. So anyway, pretty advanced stuff. So appreciate it. With that, we'll let Miles play the closing. And of course, I won't hear it at all. So that's what happens. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.